April 6, 2030. Mark this date. In exactly calculate days from current date days, something extraordinary will happen in Salt Lake City and across the entire world. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is preparing for the largest celebration in its 200-year history. But here is what most people do not know. Hidden within these preparations is a vision that could reshape how millions understand faith, community, and the future of organized religion itself. I am going to show you exactly what is being planned, details that have not been widely discussed outside church leadership circles. And by the end of this video, you will understand why European observers are calling this the most significant religious milestone of the 21st century. But first, hit that subscribe button on History Unmasked right now, because what you are about to discover is not being covered anywhere else with this level of depth. Trust me, you will want to follow this journey. Let's uncover the truth. Welcome to History Unmasked, where we explore the stories behind the headlines and the truth beneath the surface. I am your host, and today we are diving into one of the most ambitious religious undertakings in modern history. On April 6, 2030, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will celebrate 200 years since its official organization in 1830. But this is not just about looking backward. According to official church statements and planning documents released in 2024 and 2025, church leadership is orchestrating a global initiative that spans multiple years of preparation, involves millions of members across 160-plus countries, and carries a message they believe the world desperately needs to hear. To understand what is coming, we need to start where it all began. April 6, 1830, Fayette, New York. A small log cabin, 6 men gathered to formally organize what Joseph Smith declared was a restoration of Christ's original church. They called it the Church of Christ, later renamed the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. From 6 members to over 17 million today. From one small cabin to 350-plus temples worldwide. From persecution and exodus to becoming one of the fastest-growing faith traditions in Europe, Africa, and Asia. Now, here is where it gets interesting. In October 2024, church leadership announced the formation of the Bicentennial Coordinating Committee. On the surface, this seemed straightforward. Plan a big celebration, right? But when you examine the scope of what they are preparing, something becomes crystal clear. This is not just a celebration, it is a declaration. And before we go further, I want to ask you something. What do you think defines a successful religious movement in the 21st century? Is it numbers, influence, or something deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you think. Let me break down what is actually being prepared for 2030, because this is where things get fascinating. First, the global gathering. According to church announcements, April 6, 2030 will feature a worldwide broadcast from Salt Lake City. Not unusual. They do general conferences twice a year. But here is the twist. They are planning simultaneous celebrations in over 3,500 stakes, local congregations across 6 continents. Not just watching a broadcast, but coordinated, culturally adapted celebrations featuring local music, testimonies, and service projects. In Europe alone, preparations are underway in London, Frankfurt, Paris, Stockholm, Rome, and dozens of other cities. Second, the service initiative. The church has announced 200 days of service leading up to April 6th. Members worldwide are being asked to contribute to community improvement projects, humanitarian efforts, and interfaith cooperation. They have set a goal: 200 million hours of service. Think about that number. If achieved, it would represent one of the largest coordinated volunteer efforts in modern history. Third, the Historical Documentation Project. The church is investing millions in restoring historical sites, digitizing records, and creating what they are calling an open archive of church history, including difficult chapters. For European viewers, this is particularly relevant. Sites in Liverpool, England, where thousands of converts departed for America in the 1800s, are being renovated. The same is happening in Scandinavia, Switzerland, and Germany. But here's what nobody is talking about. While researching this video, I discovered something in the official Bicentennial Vision Statement that stopped me cold. Buried in a document released to stake presidents in 2024, which was later published on the church official newsroom, was this phrase: "The Bicentennial is not the celebration of an institution, but an invitation to the world to discover what 200 years of restoration truly means. An invitation to the world, not to members, to the world. This reframed everything for me. The church is not just throwing a birthday party. They are positioning 2030 as a global moment to reintroduce themselves, particularly in regions like Europe, where religious skepticism is high and church attendance has been declining for decades. They are essentially saying, "You think you know us, here is who we really are, but there is another layer." In internal leadership meetings, transcripts of which have been published in church magazines, leaders have spoken about 2030 as a response to what they call a world searching for meaning. Rising mental health crises, loneliness, epidemics, loss of community, political polarization. Their argument that the principles they have practiced for 200 years, strong families, community connection, service, faith, are precisely what a fragmented world needs. Now, here is my question for you. Do you think organized religion still has a role to play in solving modern social problems, or has that moment passed? Comment below. I am really curious about your perspective, especially from my European audience. For those of you watching from Europe, you might be wondering, why should I care about an American church anniversary? Here is why this matters to you specifically. 1. The LDS Church growth in Europe has been quietly significant. There are now temples in Rome, Paris, Frankfurt, London, Stockholm, Madrid, Kyiv, and The Hague, with more announced to the church welfare and humanitarian systems, which will be highlighted during the Bicentennial, have provided millions in aid to European refugees, disaster victims, and communities in need. Many Europeans have been helped without even knowing the source. 3. And this is the most intriguing part, the Church is using the Bicentennial to address its complex European history. In the 1800s, over 50,000 European converts left everything, families, homes, countries, to join the Church in America. Many died on the journey. The Church is now telling these stories as part of the Bicentennial, positioning them not as embarrassments to modern secular Europe, but as testaments to faith, sacrifice, and the search for religious freedom. They are reframing the narrative, and whether you agree with their theology or not, you have to admit it is a bold communication strategy. So what is really at stake in 2030? For church members, it is a moment of reflection, rededication, and celebration. But for the broader world, including skeptics, other faith traditions, and those who have no religious affiliation, it is a test. Can a 200-year-old institution remain relevant? Can faith communities offer genuine solutions to modern problems? Can an organization that has been criticized for its past, its historical treatment of black members, its positions on LGBTQ+ issues, its pioneer RAI practice of polygamy, truly evolve while maintaining its core identity? The church answer seems to be, watch what we do in 2030 and beyond. They are betting that their actions, the service, the transparency initiatives, the global gathering, will speak louder than criticism. Time will tell if that strategy works. And here is my final question for you. What would make you respect a religious organization in 2030, regardless of whether you believe in its teachings? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to build a real discussion here. April 6, 2030 is still years away. But the preparations happening now tell us everything about where the LDS Church believes the world is heading and where they want to be when we get there. Whether you are a believer, a skeptic, a historian, or just someone curious about how faith shapes our world, this will be a moment worth watching. Here is what I need from you. First, if this video gave you a new perspective or taught you something you did not know, hit that subscribe button for History Unmasked. We are building a community of people who want truth, depth, and stories that matter. Second, comment below with your thoughts. Are you intrigued by the 2030 preparations? Skeptical? Do you think the church can successfully navigate modern challenges? I read every comment, and your insights make these videos better. Third, share this with someone who loves history, religion, or big cultural moments. This story deserves a wider audience. The next 6 years will reveal a lot, not just about the LDS Church, but about the role of faith in an increasingly secular world. And we will be here, uncovering every chapter. I am your host, this is History Unmasked, and I will see you in the next investigation.